Welcome, everybody. I'm Bunny Williams, and you're in my apartment that I share, obviously, with my husband, John Rosselli, in New York City on Park Avenue. I've lived in this building for a very long time, and one of the reasons I was attracted to the building is that I loved the size of the rooms of this apartment. A lot of 6 or 7 room apartments, you've got one big room and then lots of small rooms. And this building, which is an old building, sort of 1910, I think, had wonderful big rooms. And I like that because John and I are both collectors, and we tend to have a lot of things and love to have space to put them. So this is the entrance hall of the apartment. You can see that this hall kind of sets the tone for this apartment. There's a mixture of a number of things. There's contemporary lighting, there's an antique Italian table with a Venetian mirror over it, contemporary lamps. There's a very contemporary rug. It's my whole thing about wanting to mix styles and periods that make each piece kind of stand out on its own. And I've done this through the whole apartment. One of the things in decorating is that you always want to sort of pick your moments. So in this hall, there was a narrow space between 2 doors, and I decided to use a pedestal with this beautiful bronze bird. It lifts your eye. You begin to see the height of the room, and you always want things of different levels in a space. You don't want all table height or all bench height. You want different levels. It makes every space have a lot more interest. The entrance hall table always has some of my favorite objects. This incredible crystal turtle with silver legs that John and I found in an antique show. We both fell in love with it, and so we bought it together. And this is one of our new boxes from Bunny Williams Home. And I love a box on the entrance hall table. It can hold now your mask, your keys, all the things that you want to have at your fingertips, but don't necessarily want to see them all over the top of the table. The room that we're in now is what would have been the formal dining room of the apartment. And because I don't entertain in a formal way, I made it a sort of study, library, dining room. There's a bookcase at one end. There's a round table with chairs around it that expands, but it also functions as my desk. I've had lots of Zoom calls off that table in the past year. And there's a seating area over by the window, which is a great place in the morning to have a cup of coffee and look at the paper or read my iPad. So now we're in the living room of the apartment. This was actually a rather long, narrow room. Whenever I start decorating, I look at a room and I think, where's the seating going to go? How are we going to use this room? And I decided it would be better to have one large seating group that would seat 8 and with pull-up chairs, maybe 10 people, because that's as many people as we have for dinner. John and I reused a number of pieces we've had in our life for years, a wonderful Regency sofa, these beautiful French painted chairs that John had in his another apartment years and years ago. And so I added to them things like this incredible modern coffee table. But I think you can mix all these things together because the quality's the same. One may be 18th century, but one may be made yesterday, but it's the quality of the furniture and the interest of the furniture that makes them have a great relationship. The walls are off-white, but it's not a dull room because I've added a wonderful bright yellow, textures of zebra print, and then textiles on the sofa, some Cuba cloth, some pillows I designed, and I'm always adding texture and fabrics in small doses. I believe everybody should have a little drinks table. So next to this chair is one of my favorite tables that comes from our line. I think I started Bunny Williams Home with drinks tables. People must think I drink a lot, but I just know it's the comfort of sitting in a chair and reaching over and having a place to put your cup of coffee or your glass of wine. If you're stranded and you have no place to put anything down, it's rather awkward. So this was one of our first designs, and and it's sort of carved tree trunk, which was kind of inspired by my mirror over the mantle that I've had. This is a period one, which again is, because I'm a big gardener, I love anything that has twigs and vines and has sort of a botanical feeling. On the big wall as you come in, again, I decided to hang a very large contemporary painting. Robert Zott is a young artist that I went to his studio. I loved his work. And under it is a metal bench with a piece of antique tapestry on it. And then these beautiful pine carved caryatids that probably came out of a paneled room. They're sort of, but I love, again, the juxtaposition of these early Italian carved pine figures with a contemporary painting. To me, one complements the other because they're so different and not all the same. If everything is the same, you really don't even notice things. And that's why I guess it's opposites attract to me sometimes. Tabletops are important. Again, we're collectors. John and I are always finding something new. So we love animals, and these are a collection of silver pieces, roosters, this wonderful pheasant, and different pieces of silver with ivory. Sort of makes a neutral but wonderful collection. And then with it is our new candle safe. I love scented candles. We do two, and these are just beautiful with wooden lined silver boxes, and it looks like a bucket. So welcome to the library. This is probably a room we really do use maybe the most. I think when the two of us are here, it's a small, intimate room. It's the library. It's got the big television that I just attached to a bookcase. The walls are upholstered in a Claremont fabric, so it makes acoustically this room very quiet. There's a wall-to-wall sort of spotted carpet with a modern contemporary rug that we found in Paris on top of it. Again, it's a mixture of modern upholstered chairs, a French bergère, a sofa from Bunny Williams' home. We call this the John sofa because I designed it for John Rosselli to sit in. We moved it from our other apartment to this apartment. We recovered it. And what I love, it's got a low back, a nice deep seat. It's very comfortable, and it really looks great in a room this size. Over the sofa is hung a contemporary collage. I love the color palette. We found this when we were shopping in London. And we buy art because we love it. We don't think of where it's going to go. I don't buy books by the yard. I really buy books that I want to read or should have read or really mean something to me. It's a very personal library. So now, obviously, you're in the master bedroom. I was very, very blessed when a number of years ago, John Rosselli found, sitting on the floor of I think it was a Sotheby's arcade sale, this incredible mirrored bed. And this was probably maybe over 30 years ago, when mirrored furniture wasn't that sought after. And it was in pieces and it was on the floor. And he said, I think this bed is so beautiful. And so he bought it for me. And what we found later is it's a bed by the designer Serge Roche, who is now very, very collectible. He did all this beautiful mirror furniture in Paris. I had the embroidery done on the headboard in Paris with Le Sage that does beautiful, beautiful hand-done embroidery. And it's based on a piece of textile, antique textile that I had in the office. I don't usually think I like a pink room, but the gray and pink is very, very soothing. In keeping with the pink and the gray, I decided to do a painted floor. And Franklin Tartaglione, who again is a decorative painter I've worked with for years, came in, we painted the floor white, and then he did this large panel pattern of lattice, gray, a little bit of marbleizing, and he keeps the room all very light. Sometimes I think I'm really kind of a bed person. I love to get up in the morning, come in here with my coffee, listen to the news. If if I feel like it, but I always need a big surface next to my bed. I need a big lamp, I need notepads, I need a place for the books I'm reading, and usually that's not even enough. So under this table, I have a little etagere tables that the current books I want to read. I sometimes read a lot of things at one time. I have a drawer for notepads and things that I want to put away. So there's a little life right here next to my bed, and I think people should have that. John and I love to entertain, and probably one of the best parties we had was the first party we had on the completion of the apartment. And I had everybody who'd worked on the apartment, everybody who'd made something, anybody who had had something to do with this apartment all came to see it finished. And that was really great fun.